Yo, what up? I just wanted to make a quick video while I'm sitting in this park, man. See all these YouTube videos and shit. It's just like how to approach a woman. Don't do this with a woman. Don't do this. This, that, and the third. Da 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 da. And those things are important, I think, to learn. And maybe I got a head start because I had the dad that I had and I had the past that I had. But at the end of the day, what I've learned from my experience with being with over maybe like 70 women. um, that what the fuck am I trying to say? It's you're gonna find, dude, like just be you, man. Be you, like you energetically, bro. You're gonna find somebody who energetically matches you, where you're not chasing them, they're not chasing you, but you go to them, they go to you. It's not like a magnet where you're going to them and they're pushing away, and then you have to do some bullshit tactics where you don't talk to them. And you gotta look all stoic and shit so that they talk to you and whatnot. That most likely means that they're not for you, or maybe that they are for you, but maybe they're meant to be your friends, or maybe they're not even supposed to be around you. But like, if you find like a girl, or even girls are looking for guys, there's no games. Like, if you find somebody that matches you, there's no like trying to avoid or trying to do all these tactics. It's all bullshit, man. Because like, when you find somebody, when you really find somebody, like you could be some nerdy ass nigga, right? Maybe there's some certain traits that you should change. But I've seen the most nerdiest motherfuckers, or whatever you want to call it, with women. You know what I mean? So it's just like, if they can get a woman, you can get a woman. But then you're like, well, what about my quality and stuff and whatnot? So it's just like, I guess the thing is, like, be the person that you want in that woman or whatever. But at the same time, what I've also found is, if you follow your heart, you follow those things that make your heart sing. Like, if you love working out and you love doing certain things, put all your passion into that. Because what's going to happen while you're going on the straightforward trajectory, that woman you're going to bump into that woman. You're going to find that woman. And then you won't have to play any games. There's no, like, trying to manipulate her in order to get you to sleep with her. Because that's not really love. That's just, like, that's you just trying to get some pussy. That's you trying to fulfill your ego and shit like that. It's like, you find that person that you can just be a fucking goofball with and be all derpy, and also you can be serious at the same time when you need to, and there's levels to it and whatnot. But it'll just feel natural, you know what I mean? It'll just happen with ease. And most of all my best relationships just happen with ease, actually, without me even thinking about it or even really trying. One relationship I had, it was in Germany with this one girl, and I remember I saw her, and she was the most beautiful fucking woman I've ever seen in my fucking life. But I felt like nervous, I guess you could say. But like, some women I've been around where it's like you just feel like you just want and stuff. I didn't feel compulsive, like I need to have her. I just like was able, like, accepting the nervousness or whatever and the beauty. But it was it. And then we were just walking and talking, and then we smoked some weed, and we just fucking light up. We're just fucking like kids, and we're joking about all this shit. You know what I mean? We're not even thinking about it. And that relationship was a really good relationship, and the communication was really well, and it just felt really easy at a lot of times. But at that moment, I had like a lot of insecurities and stuff like that, that were fucking with me. But just from that, though, it's like that girl will come to you. But you know what? If you're out here trying to get pussy, and you're out here trying to make a name for yourself, and you're out here trying to, fulfill certain things like sexual desires and certain things like that, then yeah, maybe you got to learn certain things and certain ways of how to be a man, in order to get certain particular women. But even then, like, even hot ass women, you know what I'm saying? You could get those hot ass women without having to watch videos on how to be a man. Like, if you're already so in your purpose and you're already so driven, you might bump into the hottest babe, and like, she's for you. This whole like, don't give women validation, don't give them approval and stuff. Like, you with the right person, you're gonna give her validation and approval when you feel is right. You're not gonna give her over validation. You're not gonna give her over approval. You're just gonna give, you know what, I love you. Wow, you're so fucking beautiful. You know what I mean? You feel free to express these things, and she can express them to you. But you're not like overbearing. And even if you were, you wouldn't be. You know what I'm saying? Like, you would be like, unless you weren't in the right mind or anything like that. That's what I'm saying. There's some women, it's just like, it just is what it is. It's like you're going towards, and then they're going away. But then the moment you start looking away, they're coming towards you. That's not how unity is supposed to work. That means that connection is really not meant for you, unless you're just trying to hit it. You know what I'm saying? I mean, it's like the unity right there. Like to me, it's not passing. You'd be like, maybe there's a lot of stuff you need to heal from and stuff. You know how many people are on this planet, you guys? There's destined to be one that's going to fit you right. You know what I mean? And I think the thing is, it's just hard for most people, most guys and stuff, is patience, and that's definitely a hard part for me as well. You know, being patient can suck. You know, especially if you want to have that right one, and you've been with a lot, and you kind of, you know, like I don't say it depresses you being with other people or anything like that, but maybe that's a mindset too. You got to clear out. You got to let go of all the past relationships and all that type of stuff in order to attract that new woman into your life. And this goes for me as well. You know, so you know, just keep your head up. And if you got to watch informational videos like that, there's nothing wrong with that. You know what I'm saying? But at the end of the day, like really, it does come down to love. And like when you communicate from love and from your heart, that space of love, that's where the real you's at. You know what I'm saying? That's where the real you, where you're being all goofy, you're talking to yourself like blah 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 blah. You're being a goofball. You can be by yourself and having a good time. Trust me, that woman's there too. That woman's just right there with you, and she's just that right of consciousness. And the right moment, you're gonna bump into that woman. You're gonna bump into that woman, and you're not gonna feel like you have to try. You're gonna feel fucking at ease. You're gonna enjoy her company. You're gonna just enjoy being in her presence, and she's gonna feel the exact same way towards you. You're gonna like love and desire her, and she's gonna love and desire you too. It's gonna go both ways. It's not like a magnet pushing each other away from each other. So that's what I gotta say about that, guys. And you know, I hope you guys do find the woman you're looking for. Maybe you're not trying to find the one right now or something like that. But there's another guy too that I would suggest looking up. His name is Corey Sky, and he has some really good dating advice videos. Corey Sky, CORYSKY, maybe two Y's, but SKY. Not a huge channel, but this guy talks about this stuff in dating and being with women and going out into the field on kind of the level I'm talking about, but the same rules would apply. So it's just like an energetical kind of thing where it's just like he can go into a bar and he knows subconsciously, because this is where you go into the subconscious mind. That's where I talk about all this stuff, like that everything is actually connected. And this is where I might lose some people, but so everything is connected, and subconsciously we are drawn to people and situations and things that are maybe like in our heart, you know what I'm saying, and like are in our subconscious. So that could even mean like certain like good things, but also, you know, maybe you attract certain people in your life. Like, why do I always attract certain people like this in my life? It means like you gotta heal through that and whatnot, so you can get past that. But basically, it's like what I'm trying to say is on a telepathical level, you're connecting to that. So if you are subconsciously, you know, through affirmations and changing and rewriting your mindset, you know, he goes in, he's like, I know I'm always going to get a woman. And I've experienced this as well too. This is how it happens, especially when you're in the flow state and you're not needy. You know, a woman, he'd see a woman over there and they'd make eye contact, and like slowly but surely they'd end up getting closer and closer to each other without it being forced. And then he's just having a conversation with her, and then he's just going. But it's when you're following that heart, you're following that not neediness. You're actually just trusting, like, it's all going to work out for me. It's all going to work out. And then somehow the universe makes it work out for you, you know, but you got to trust that. And, you know, even from my examples, I could even show you energetically, like when I first got to Ithaca, I was coming back from LA. I was in a really good mind state. You know, I felt very just like confident and good. And that was expressed through how I acted and how I talked and just even sitting around. So I'd have to work at a nightclub. And I remember this one nightclub, I'd have to work there. I'd work there once a week. And each day, at least for the 3 weeks, on each day, I always had a girl. That makes it sound like a lot, but each one I had a girl always come up to me and start talking to me, and then I make out with her. And I'm saying that not to be, you know, if anybody gets offended, whatever, because I know I have family and stuff, but that's some trauma and stuff you have to go through and heal from as well. But when it always happened, and the reason why I bring that up is because energetically I was in a space I would let go, and I would be like, I'm gonna make out with somebody tonight, and I just let go, and I went back into my heart or whatever, and I just enjoyed it. I didn't have to do anything, bro. I was literally just chilling like this, and a girl, like I remember one girl would come up to me and she's like, hey, and then there you go, you know what I mean? It's just like, it's not like you don't not do anything, but through the flow you just kind of start flirting and be like, yeah, you know what I mean? You just kind of feel it out, and you're not even feeling it out, it just feels right. And then all of a sudden, you know, you can say something like, You want to make out or some shit like that, and then bam, you know. And I bring up that because afterwards, my that energy I had, that trust, I was going through a lot of ups and downs and doubts with my faith and all that type of stuff. And after that, it wasn't happening as much. It wasn't because I was being too needy. After a certain point, I became needy again. I was looking around, looking to see when the pussy would come, when the girl would come. Or maybe that girl, maybe that girl. Or maybe it's her. Never, never, unless, because that's where masculine energy comes in. That's unless you are willing to go up and approach and start talking. You know what I mean? That's another way you can do it. So you got two ways. You can do the receiving or you can do the assertive. But at the same time, even when you're communicating with a woman, unless you're just gonna straight up manipulate her mind and shit, you can straight up get her on the logic. But a lot of times, women like want to feel a connect, too. They want to feel a connect. That's why I've had lesbians that were like, "Oh, I'm not lesbian." You know what I mean? Because they haven't been with guys that they can connect with like that, or haven't for a long time. And that's not a shit on anybody who identifies as anything. It's just the polarities and the truth. And when you become more in tune with the truth of who you are, on a deeper level, then shit will just come out the waterworks. I'm telling you, bro. Because in a sense, actually, you're God, and that's the truth. And that's hard for most people to take. And I say this, I got family members that are looking at me like, "What are you talking about?" Da 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 da. But it's okay because I know and I understand that they do not. And no offense, guys, you most likely have never been meditating. You most likely have never gone that deep and to really see. And you can experience this through deep states of meditation, experiencing it through feeling the vibration inside of you, feeling the energy inside of you, and then experiencing it through paying attention to what's happening in your outside life and what's coming to you. And when you start doing that, that starts to build up the mind to be like, oh, this shit's legit. You start seeing the synchronicities. Somebody will say something earlier in the day, then somebody will bring it up later on in the day. That shows that you're in flow. You know what I mean? So the thing is rewriting our subconscious mind so when we're in flow, we attract what we want. You understand what I'm saying? I remember one day, the thought was in my head for a while. I needed a skateboard because I lost my skateboard. And I actually remember I came here, I was stressing and I just let go. I was like, let me just get some beers. And I'm not saying you need to get beers to get in the flow, but it can help depending. But you don't need to do anything to get into the flow. But let me get some beers, so I'm chilling. I'm jovial. I'm really good now. I'm in a good energy state. I'm not really thinking too much. I'm just, having fun and conversating and just, because, you're drinking it just lets you go a little bit. And then, long behold, this woman actually that I've been have a connection with. You notice that too. Certain people, just people you have connection with. She always walks her dog. She comes out. I'm sitting on the bench, and she's just like, "Hey, I don't know what it is, but there's something inside of me just tells me that you need a skateboard." And I was like, "What? Fuck yeah! Hell yeah! Yeah! Yeah!" And I got a new skateboard. And then I got offered a job too, but I didn't want that job, and that's okay because the universe will keep providing you shit. But if you believe that it won't, then it's not gonna, you might have to wait and shit like that, or you got to go out and get it. So it's two and two. So if you go out and get it, the universe is also gonna come to you as well. So it's an exchange kind of thing. But really, I'm starting to believe now that the universe will coddle you like a motherfucking child. It'll coddle you like a child, and it'll take care of you if you're in flow with the universe. And it helps. Like, okay, I smoke weed, right? That really puts me in flow. But sometimes there's stuff that I attract that I'm like, I don't want to be around that. You know what I'm saying? And it's those kind of things. So it's like changing those habits. Like, okay, what energy do I want to have feel more comfortable to me and come to me and change? And like then there's good stuff in your subconscious, like your family members, the love you have for them, and all that stuff. But also don't let that love that you have for them stop you from changing certain beliefs and patterns in your mind, because you might have serious conditioning, even your parents. So don't blame your parents either, because they're just like you and they've been conditioned as well. They might have serious limiting conditions on themselves. They might not be able to be like, believe like you don't have to work for money. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's crazy. That sounds legitimately insane, right? That you don't have to work. And when I say work, you don't have to get a 9 to 5. But at the same time, don't take that as me being like, hey, just quit your job and don't get a 9 to 5. It's better to get yourself the faith in this stuff and law of attraction, certain things in your mind, so then you can go forth and do what you got to do. Don't quit your job. Just keep doing what you're doing, and then the physical and the spiritual will meet. So you'll end up getting to where you need to be. But you got to start changing that mindset and stuff, and you can get to a point. And there's plenty of people. There's plenty of people that just manifest stuff. They won a lotto ticket. There's this one woman named Hensel something whatever, and It was a bad. You can look it up on Guy, but she would win scratch it because scratch it out. She learned this method from Neville Goddard. I think it was Neville Goddard. Look him up. Where she would imagine and visualize herself winning, and what she'd do, she'd win constantly, all the time. All these things. So the thing is, what I leave with that is the imagination is not trivial. The imagination is actually what creates all of reality. Everything in reality and existence is imagination. This bench was imagined in a human's mind or two humans' minds, and then they created it. So it's actually the same thing for all of this shit around us. It's all imagination. So if you're going through your day imagining negative shit that brings you down, you know what? You're going to start attracting situations to you that are like that if you keep acting from that emotional spot. But you can turn it around 180 if you get out of that emotional spot and flow with a different emotion. Because everything is connected through the emotion, so it'll take you and whatnot. So it's like everything's connected through the heart. So what you tell your heart and all this stuff, subconsciously it'll come to you. But there's so much more to it. I don't want to get into it too much. But the reason why I'm saying all this stuff is so you can understand that there's deeper levels to attracting women, and women there's deeper levels to attracting men. But with great power comes great responsibility, because I have experienced women I have been with where like I can connect to them so deeply, and they're just they almost get tired, bro. Sometimes they're like I've never connected with somebody this deep before. You know what I'm saying? And it's cool, right? But the thing is, my priority is it's hard for me to keep that with certain girls. I can go there with them and connect there, but it's hard to stay in that spot because I'm like, dude, I don't care about having a relationship with this girl. I don't want to do that and stuff like that. You know what I mean? And I get all in my head. So just examples here, basically like how this stuff works, and that's why I'm out here. I'm making sure I figure this shit out, because don't listen to anybody outside of you. Keep doing what you need to do in the physical world. You know what I'm saying? But don't listen to any people when they come out limiting beliefs and all that stuff. That's the scary thing, is that you're actually fully responsible and fully in control. Not that you're in fully control of everything that happens around you. We're all under, well, God's fully in control, because God, or consciousness, or whatever you want to call it, the spirit of consciousness is technically all of us, and we're experiencing itself through fragments. So there is... But within that, you are co-creating. So you you are that I am. You are. There's no ifs or buts about it. You can't escape that. You are that I am. You literally are that I am, and you can come back to that. And that doesn't give you an excuse to do. Actually, you could do whatever. Now, I'm not saying there's not consequences, especially in the spiritual realm and all that stuff. But yeah, you can do whatever. And the best example I like to use is Hitler. Hitler. I'll say it more times. Hitler. Because people are afraid to talk about that stuff. But you need to look at it. This man, he was doing manifestation as well. You got to look at it. You got to look at it for all those who are like, well, I'm not good enough to receive this, or I'm not good enough to have that. I don't think it's really cool to be killing a whole bunch of Jewish people, but somehow, some way, Hitler manifested that into reality. Nothing stopped him from manifesting that. Now, clearly, on the outside world, there was people that are, fuck that, we're going to fight back. So, I hope when you guys are hearing me talk about this, that you're not like, well, if you get upset that I brought up Hitler, you're not emotionally mature enough to be even to handle any of this stuff I'm talking about. But it's an example to show, even evil shit that you want, you can get. And that's when I've come to the conclusion now. It's like there is light and there's good. And then there's everything in between. Or light and bad or whatever. And there's everything in between bad. I mean, those are all perspectives, right? But from human to human to human. But that's why I'm like, I think a better way to say it is it coming from the heart or is it out of the heart? Because when you're in the heart, that's where all things heal. When you're out of the heart, that's when all the problems come. Like there's a story of Atlantis and Lemuria. Atlanteans got super into their awareness of ego, and the Lemurians were more in the heart. And that's the whole downfall of Atlantis, is that they were so in their egos trying to, you know what I mean? When you're not in the heart, you don't care. You don't care about your family. You don't care about anything. It's like, why should I care about, oh, you just died, you got killed? Oh, I don't care. You're not even in the heart to feel what, you don't even care.